Hello and welcome to today's LOL Esports Round Up, where we cover the games that took place this morning in the LPL, as well as give you a sneak peek of tomorrow's games in the LPL and LCK. There is no news really to go over. Towards the end of the split, there's nothing really to talk about. As the playoffs begin in the minor regions tomorrow, well, let's get started with today. Later on today, you will see a video that comes out called something to the effect of patch breakdown of 12-13. Where we look back at patch 12-13 and the most common champion matchups in a vacuum and just kind of, try and determine what the meta was and kind of just briefly close the book on 12-13 and move. We've already done a video previewing 12-14 and how it affects teams already. That's on my channel. But if you'd like to go back through my channel, a very disorganized one, someone suggested playlists last week and I should make them. You can go back to my channel to see past patch breakdown videos to get an idea of what I'm talking about. And tomorrow my minor region power rankings will come out as well. But nevertheless, LPL, today I went 1-1. So my over-unders, I was 2 for 2. If you saw my Patreon and you're subscribed to my Patreon, you would have seen my picks as like the top picks that I think you could have a shot at. And then you go from there choosing which one you want based on my insight. But I went 2 for 2. I mean 2 and 2. But this morning all the lines were bumped and props were bumped, so I ended up going 1 for 4. So I mean, I should have just stuck with my gut. I pulled Photic out and I added Cube and iBoy, and I should not have done that. That was a complete and utter mistake. But 1 and 4 is what happened. So that's it for that. But Patreon link is in the description if that sort of stuff interests you. I'm still hitting at like 55 and I don't know, 63, 62%. So LPL, LGD versus Rare Atom, 2 bottom feeder teams. Thankfully, it was not an int fest. It was a real series where the teams played and duked it out. Now they're both 3. Well, actually, LGD's 3-11, Rare Atom is 3-12, but Assume went 12-4-19 at 80 carry with 32% of LGD's damage. And Fearness in top lane had the series of his life going 16-5-18. I had him as an under. And honestly, if you look back at his game, 6 out of his last 10 games, he had no kills at all. So this is like crazy. Strive in mid for Rare Atom, 8, 9, and 10. That was the best scoreline of the Rare Atom contingent. Top and Victory 5, definitely something we wanted to watch. Sorry about that. Definitely, a playoff preview. This series happened twice in playoffs last split, and it could happen again. V5 win 2-0. Top did not show up today. They really didn't. Whether they were trying or not is a whole nother discussion, but they did not show up at all, and it's going to affect the power rankings on Thursday. Photic, 14-1-13, 35% of the team's damage. They gave him a Senna in game 2. Mistake, you don't give Photic Senna. Rookie, 9-2-15 in mid. Knight on the opposite side went 4-2-4. Top just got completely blown out. Jackie Love looked awful. Wayward looked awful. I mean, like I said, somebody had suggested in the Discord, and we watch the games and discuss them as they go on. Some days more active than others, but as more people join, the more active it becomes, right? But, it kind of looked like Top were just playing over-aggressive, and it really made no sense. But in the end, they're 13-2. Victory 5 and the split 13-3. Fearness, Zhao Lao Bao, Hai Chao, Photic, and PP God are the stars of the day. Sneak peek for tomorrow in the LPL, EDG and Anyone's Legend duke it out. Anyone's Legend vying for their playoff lives. They are coming off of a 2-0 loss to JDG. EDG coming off of a 2-0 win against Team Wii. EDG 8th in the power rankings. I don't know if I just mentioned that or not. The last time they played, Anyone's Legend won. Week 8, day 1, Anyone's Legend won over EDG 2-1. Forge went 10-2-19. In this split, Forge is what is making things happen for EDG. So if that happens again, there's I think there is actually upset possibility. This whole time, I thought Anyone's Legend were dead in the water. And if you look at this on paper, they should be dead in the water against EDG. But they beat them in spring. There's nothing to say they can't beat them now. I mean, EDG aren't much better than they were in spring, to be honest. And Anyone's Legend is a lot better than they were in spring. Scout versus Forge is what I want to watch. IG and OMG. OMG similar to anyone's legend, trying to get to 8-8 to be in, you know, the playoff discussion. IG 4-10, they're pretty much out. I think they're out now. RNG beat IG 2-1 last time IG were on the Rift, and BLG beat OMG 2-0. Week 1, Day 7 of Spring, OMG would win 2-0 over Invictus Gaming. Cream went 12-2-13 against Yukai in mid. This time around, Mole is in mid, and Mole has actually played very well for IG, surprisingly. I think this meta fits him a lot better than the one in Spring did, where I really thought Mole was worse than Yukai, but it has completely flipped in summer. I'm looking forward to see how that goes in 2023, depending on what IG does, and see, you know, which mid laner may be better served for, you know, how do I say this? Like, if you're very meta dependent, you want a guy that can kind of be good at everything, so we got to figure out who is good at everything. But that's it for the LPL. LCK, Gen G and Fred Brion. Gen G now going to try and get first in the power rankings. They are second, 15-1. Fred Brion 3-13. Gen G beat Dom 2-1 last time they were on the Rift, and Fred Brion beat HLE 2-1 for their third win. Week 2, Day 3 of Summer, Gen G won 2-0. Lahens 2-1-25 as they completely steamrolled Fred Brion. I expect it to happen again, but Chovy versus Lava is what I want to watch. Lava was my top-rated mid laner in the LCK last split. If you missed my top performers video where I just look at stats and just kind of feed you stats of the top performers of the week, Lava was very, very statistically strong last week. And Chovy is obviously like the best in the world. And I mean, I'm not going to back off of that statement. Sandbox and T1, this is real important. This is number 2 and 3 seeds right now in the LCK. Both top 11 of my power rankings. Sandbox 2-1 winners over KT last time they're on the Rift. And T1 2-1 winners over Nongshim. Week 2, Day 2 of Summer, T1 would win 2-0. Zayas may be playing the best series of Summer for himself, 13-1-9. I want to watch Guma versus Prince, though. Guma, very lackluster in Summer ever since MSI. Honestly, I say it all the time. I think it was when Shogun and Taki popped Guma and Keria in the mouth to start MSI. That is when everything changed. I really do think that. For T1 and especially Guma. Guma has not been the same ever since, throughout MSI, throughout Summer pretty much. And Prince has done very well for Sandbox, a big improvement over, I believe, Ice was who their AD carry was in he split with somebody else. I want to say Envy, but I don't think it was Envy. It could have been. Either way, Prince is an upgrade. Sandbox are much better than that, and they're in the playoffs, so I mean, I didn't have them in playoffs. I might have had them 10th going into Summer, honestly, but I didn't know what Prince was, and Prince is hard carrying for them in a big way, alongside Cal, who is a rookie. It's just very good for Sandbox. A very good series to watch. This is a playoff preview series. Sandbox, it's extremely important for them, you know, so they can, for seeding purposes, is very important, so that's it for my roundup for today. Go to the Discord if you'd like. The link is in the description. Patreon link is in the description as well. Subscribe to the channel so you get notification of when I post my video later today, and as well as all my videos. They're not very consistent in what time they're uploaded. They're just kind of uploaded when, I mean, these games were done earlier, so this video's up earlier than, you know, other days, things like that. So, like I said, thank you for watching. I hope you come back for more content.